Okay, so welcome back. We are starting another little trail. This one not going to be too difficult if it weren't for the fact that it is right now about 88 degrees, and so it's I think it's going to be like 14 miles. So although if I incorrectly estimate, it might be 15. Anyway, here's the trail, as you can see. And this is my first time on it, so we will discuss some of the finer points of this trail as we continue along it. Hopefully it does not get too intense, but that's what we're here to discover. And that says, I like that name. It's such a funny name. Higginbotham. And yet it reads Higginbotham. So let's go ahead and get started with our hike. So now you know. You gotta be back by 8:30. Will we make it back? Barely. So today's trail, I actually was going to do, I'd been looking for a trail that would not be too difficult, as this past week, as is usually the case for me, I'd been working out way too much. And the hot weather itself has just really taken its toll on me. And something sometimes you should do is, especially if you are working out a lot, every once in a while you should just give yourself a take it easy week where you don't really push too hard. You drop the intensity significantly. Now, to those of us who work out a lot, that's actually quite hard. That is quite difficult, because the very monster that drives us to achieve and to do well is also the monster that shames us when we are not literally breaking ourselves in half. And so that makes it difficult. I say that because, whoa, we are off trail. Okay, so the trail is that way. So let's go ahead and turn back. Well, no, it wasn't even that obvious, or I just was not paying attention. Our trail begins over here with these little steps. Although with all the grass growing on there on the side, the steps are not that useful. Huh. That's the thing when you are visiting a trail for the first time. You still don't know your way. Little baby steps, almost like they made it for easiness. Actually, it's not that easy, as you can tell by my heart rate. Okay. Okay, so that was 2 miles. It's 23:07 for that second mile. As you can tell, I picked up the pace because from mile 1 to 2, it gets a lot easier. Mile 1, I think I gained like 530 feet. And right now I'm up to 800. So, you know, this part of the trail is, as you can tell, it's actually quite a nice road. It's a little fire road. It's not really a hiking trail yet. Well, what I consider hiking trails, you know, the trail just doesn't look as kind. This one right now it does. You know. And for only doing 800 feet in 2 miles, whereas in other places I'll do that in 1, that should give you an idea. What is making this absolute torture is not the road. The road is my friend. It's that big guy back there, that big ball of fire right behind me, up above. Yeah, that guy is just... The temperature's not even that bad. I would guess it's probably about 82. But the sun, the UV, whoa, not even the UV, just the infrared. Right now, it's just cooking me. It doesn't matter. I can't get away from it. So in a situation like this is where I'm like kind of pushing it and at the same time trying to keep from pushing it too much. Because if I push too much, I'm gone. Oh, and I already said that at 2 miles I start drinking. Wow, that was good. As I said, I brought 3 liters, and the plan will be from here on out, every mile, I will take a swig. If this is 14 miles, which is what I estimate, that's 7 to the top. So I should be done with my bladder by the time I'm to the top. And then I have 1 more liter left. Coming down shouldn't be that bad. So I am planning to be a bit dehydrated on my way down, but at my rate, I could probably lose about 3 liters without getting into an emergency situation. As I say these things, I need to remember many of you do not have such careful calculations of your own bodies, so do not use my measurements. Use my tactics, use my strategies. And my strategy is I weigh myself religiously. Like I'm almost like got an obsessive compulsion to weigh myself. I know how much I lose overnight when I sleep. I know how much I lose when I'm sitting down. I know my liquids very well. And so I have a very good idea of how much I'm going to lose. I shouldn't say a good idea, because there is a wide variation. I do make mistakes. But the thing is, that's what I'm saying, is I also can more or less work with that variation such that I will almost very rarely ever get in trouble. I also have to keep in mind I'm older. And as much as I would like to ignore that fact, I cannot. But if I don't ignore it, that's a good thing. If I don't ignore it, things work out very well. So I can do quite well. I can sustain. I can handle a lot of dehydration. Just know my limits because of my age. And you don't try what I try. Learn like I did. And then you'll be able to come up with your own good ideas. For example, when I go on a run, I will weigh myself before and after the run. I have a scale that is a very precise scale. Like if I drink just a couple of ounces of water, the scale will show it. It's accurate to within 1/10 of a pound. And I have measured it, because some people will be like, how do you know? Well, when I got it, I tested it with all kinds of lab weights and things like that. It's not super ultra precise, but it is damn precise for considering how cheap it is. Because no, it's not a $500 scale. It's like a $35 scale. It's one of the best cheap scales I could find. And so I weigh myself before a run, after a run, and then I have a little calculation that I can do. Along with that, of course, I measure how much I drink and how much I pee. There we go, 6 miles, 24:17. We've gone up 1868 and gone down 489. So this trail, as I said, is mostly a kind trail. It's kicking my ass because of the sun, not the trail. As a matter of fact, as I'm thinking about it, I'm comparing it to Cucamonga, because it seems like the distance is about the same as both. But this would be a kinder trail in Cucamonga, because as you can see, it is mostly fire road. I haven't really run into any, challenging paths where you have to avoid rocks or anything crazy. No, it's been mostly fire road, and the slope has been kind. At least that's the way I can describe kind, considering that, as I said, in 6 miles, I have barely done less than 2,000 feet of elevation gain. Whereas, if I'm not mistaken, Cucamonga, 6.5 miles, and what is it, like 4,000? So, like twice the elevation gain. So this would be good as a preparation. Just don't do it like me. As I said, on any other type of weather, this hike would be a walk in the park. This hike would be it wouldn't be super hard. As I said, there's other hikes that are harder. But on a sunny day like this, Good God. It's like I carried an extra 30 pounds on my back. Here we are. Oh. Potato Mountain. Oh, I feel so weak, I don't even think I could get up here. Give me a second. Actually, I have to admit that yesterday was my leg day, and I hurt my back. Not like injured, just there's the potatoes. I guess that's why they call it Potato Mountain. Huh. And here's the view. It's a lot more delicious when you suffer for it. Oh, that wind feels good. Okay. I think that's the path back. Okay, let's take a little break and get back down. So at 10.81 miles, I thought I was going to take a break here, sit on this nice little bench for like a minute. And all of a sudden, there's like bugs everywhere. And it wouldn't be so bad if they were just the little teeny ones that don't do much. But there's these like 1 centimeter buggers that they like sting, but not like bees. It's almost like they're trying to bite you. So, gotta keep going. So this last part of the trail, well, it isn't the last part. I think I still have about 1.5 miles to go. But as you can tell, it's kind of like a road. I mean, it's nice. So it's not like this is a little path, a little parking. Oh, I know this trail, this road. That's where you come up when you're going to go up to Mount Baldy. I just figured that one out. Okay. And so here starts our last part. This says begin. This is pretty much going to be our end, though. As I said, I think it's about 1.5 miles. On the other side of these hills that you're seeing. The hike itself, as you can tell, is kind. Is probably the best word I can use. It is a nice hike for someone who is beginning and who's going to try their luck at something a little more challenging. This is not as hard as Cucamonga or Baldy. And so if you want to test yourself, this would be good. Because like I said, the road is much more amenable than the other trails. It's mostly a fire trail. So that's a good thing. The one thing though that absolutely blasted me was the sun. That big boy over there. Wow. Hours of it just pounding on you. But it's weird because Cactus to Clouds does the same thing, and that's a lot of what just knocks you down. This wasn't nearly as hard. That's what I'm saying. So a lot of it is subjective. I probably could have handled better, but it was just the subjective feel of, there you go. That's 12 miles there, 20:48. So as you can tell, making good time now. I mean, it's just a walk now, so I don't expect I should go any slower than 3 miles an hour, which is my average walking speed. Yes, so let's go ahead and make it to the end. So we are back. So that last part was pretty easy, but we're done. Let's go ahead and get on out of here. Okay, so that hike is done, and I thought I'd take a little rest here on this rock. So, as you can tell, the miles weren't actually. It was a little over 13.3 miles, and what as a hike goes, as I said, this is a very beginner friendly, or I should say not beginner, but kind of somebody who's already done some miles and they want to move up in their miles. This is a very nice hike in terms of getting you prepared for something a little more challenging. Because this is about the same mileage that you would get doing Cucamonga Peak. Or Baldy, one of the Baldy trails is also like this. This is a little, Wilson is about 16 miles, so that would be more. But it's in that same range. The thing is, the trail itself, as you noticed, it was almost all fire road. And then the last couple of miles, mile or two? Yeah, I think so. It was almost like paved road. So there was, nothing to it there. It was really just, the challenge was the sun. The sun was what really punished us and really just took, you can look at my dehydration numbers, you'll see them here, but that was some serious punishment. And it's not even the heat or anything, it's just the infrared. It just gets you, and it's gonna get you. I made sure I brought enough water, but even that wasn't enough. Well, it was. I'm not suffering right now. I'm tired. I'm a little weak, but that's normal. Other than that, the trail, the actual scenery, was very nice. It was kind of a Mediterranean, I guess is what they would call it. The other thing I would say is, Potato Mountain. Well, there's a reason they call it that. Everybody puts a potato up there. The other thing, though, that I thought was kind of funny was that this is the kind of mountain that I would call a hot peak. And what I mean by hot peak is that it's similar to Santiago Peak and Modjeska in that when you get to the top, there is no real relief from the hot weather. Whereas if you get to the top of Ontario or the top of Cucamonga or the top of Baldy, it's cool enough up there that you don't feel as punished by the heat. Whereas in a place that's got more heat, like I said, because the hill is lower, you still get beaten up by the heat. So you don't get any rest up there. But that's why just make sure bring enough water, especially during these sunny days. So other than that, though, this was a very good hike. It was nice. It was going to be easy if it weren't for the sun. The sun really made it hard. Oh well. So, as I always say, don't forget to challenge yourselves.